Hello everyone, welcome to the speedrun tutorial for the any percent route in Remorse the List. Here we are going to go over several tricks, several techniques, different things that you want to do for your any percent route in the game. So here we go. First things first, the timer is going to start right when you're on the other side of this door. You will be able to hear the piano come on. So once you open this door, in just a second, you'll hear the piano start playing. Once you hear that, you're going to want to start the timer. So now we are out here, and the idea of what we want to do is essentially go over these boxes. So we do not want to destroy the boxes. That's what the game wants you to do, is over by this cut up body. It wants you to pick up this knife, destroy these boxes, and that teaches you how to use the knife and all that stuff for the game. But we don't need that knife, and we do not want to destroy these boxes. So instead, what we are going to do is we're going to jump over all of that. Fastest way is to get a running jump onto here, and then do a small jump onto this bush, and then a running jump over the boxes. Just like that. So when that looks really fast, it looks like that. So once you've done that, you're going to want to run all the way over here, past this car, over to that lamp that you can see. And you're going to want to save your game. Any slot works for you, but just know that the save is going to be called Hunyadi Street. Go ahead and save. And right when you've saved, you want to load that save that you just made. You'll notice that the music has turned off. That is how you know that it has worked. So, a couple things have happened with that. It has reset objects in the world, physics objects like those boxes, unless they were destroyed. So if those boxes were destroyed, they aren't back. However, if they're just pushed around, moved out of the way, they'll be back where they originally were, which is what we want. So there's several boxes in several places. There's this stack of boxes here. This one is very close, as you can see, so ideally you could use those boxes for speed, but the most accurate ones to use are the boxes over here, right where you came from. That's why we don't destroy them, because they're the fastest to use. And the idea is to go past these TVs, past this whole sign, and get up over this fence. The thing is that on the PC version, there's an invisible wall just from the fence to a little bit over it too. So you can't see it, obviously, because it's invisible, but there's a wall right around here with the fence, and it's up here. The end game is on the other side of this fence. So you can skip the entire game if you can just get over this fence, and that's what we intend to do. So the technique is to use the physics of these boxes to launch yourself up into the air and over the fence. So it is easier to do with these boxes. So we're going to give it a try. Know that this is probably the hardest trick in the game, and it's very difficult to get consistent, and you might never get it consistent. It's very tricky, but there are some tips that I can give you to get it to work and to make it more consistent than it would be if you're just jumping into boxes. Ideally, you want to kind of center yourself up, not running directly at it, but kind of at a corner. You want to jump And when you jump, you want to be turning to the right. So almost as though, like, while you're in the air, your back turns to hit these boxes. And if it works, it should launch you in the air. Just like that. So ideally you don't want to be this high, but if you are, you can navigate yourself a little bit. Now when you press tab to open your inventory, it stops your momentum no matter what you're doing. So from that, you can stop your momentum and steer yourself to be where you want to be. Now we are across the fence, and we can get into the last portion of the game. Going into this house, normally the route you would take for the game is to go up the stairs. Look in this bedroom and you can see a glowing CD on the bed. Now, there's a trigger just slightly past the threshold of this door. And you can't jump over it, you can't get around it. It's a trigger that's right there, and if you go in, it's going to send you to a whole other section of the game where you have to do some first-person platforming, go through a spiky maze, fight through a gauntlet of enemies, and then do the final boss fight. So we're actually going to skip all of that. Instead, we're going to grab the CD another way. There's several ways to do this. I'll show you the more consistent way first. And this way is very tricky, so I'll do it a couple times. First, you want to jump up here. And going to this plant, there's like a little bit of a ramp, an invisible ramp of collision that can take you up there to get to that plant. So when you're crouched, it looks like that. Now, if you are already standing on this plant, you cannot uncrouch because your head would hit the ceiling and the game goes, no, you can't do that because you're not tall enough, or rather you're too tall. So instead, you want to be standing when you go up there, because we're going to clip through that ceiling by crouching. How this works is if while you are walking up this ramp, if you are crouched and then you uncrouch while walking up it, your head will go out of bounds and the game will just teleport the rest of your body out of bounds with you. So now we're up here, just on the outside of that bedroom, and there's a CD. So from there, we can actually grab the CD through the wall, and that is one of the ways to do this. Just like that. Basically, you stand here and crouch and just start spamming the interact button, and then you have the CD. Now what do you do from here? Well, you just fall off the edge. And the game will automatically put you right back on the welcome mat to the outside. From there, you can simply end the game by putting the disc in, and the timer ends right when you press play disc. Once again, just jump up here, and then right here on the edge when you would be on the invisible ramp up to that plant, you want to walk up there while crouched, and while you're going up, uncrouch. Just like that. Once you are here, then reaching through to grab the CD, it is a line right about here. And then you'll reach down and just start spamming the interact button while you're going down. And then you will grab it. This can be tricky to figure out the exact line at first, but you will get it. And then just fall off, and then you're back. But instead of doing that, let's show you the other faster but less consistent way of doing the out of bounds trick to grab the CD. So instead, what you can do is once you get back inside the house, you can actually try to grab the CD up through the ceiling. So the CD is almost directly under this light, but at a certain angle we can grab it. Position yourself right between that outlet plug and this rug, just about in the center, and then jump up. You don't want to be using WASD while you do this, just a simple jump up and spamming of the interact button. Might be a little far away. And you should be able to grab it. Just like that. And yeah, that one is way more inconsistent, but obviously if you get it on the first try, it's faster than doing this trick. So that is a thing that you can do instead. And once again, over to the computer, use the disc from the inventory, play disc, and the run is over. That is the any% route for Remorse the List.